The gospel world was left shaken when pastor and award-winning gospel artist Travis Greene finally broke his silence about a hidden battle he had carried for years. For decades, millions saw him as a fearless worship leader, a man who could stir entire arenas into tears with nothing but his voice and his guitar. But the shocking truth he revealed recently has left fans stunned, leaders divided, and the entire Christian community asking one haunting question: how much pressure can one man carry before he breaks? You won't believe how deep this story goes. What began as a simple confession turned into one of the most controversial moments of his career, and maybe his life. To understand why this confession shook so many, you have to know the story of Travis Greene's beginnings. He wasn't supposed to live. Doctors declared him stillborn, his lifeless body handed to his grieving mother. But as she prayed and called on God, Travis miraculously began to breathe. That moment became the foundation of his testimony. The boy who lived when medicine gave up hope. But that wasn't the only miracle. At the age of 4, he fell from a 4-story building. Family members screamed, neighbors rushed in horror, yet somehow, against all odds, Travis survived with only minor injuries. Years later, he was in a car accident that should have taken his life. Again, he survived. From the start, it seemed like destiny had a hand on him. Every near-death experience only fueled his faith. Fans often called him the miracle child, and as he grew, it was clear he was meant for something extraordinary. By his 20s, Travis Greene had become a household name in gospel music. His breakout song Intentional in 2015 soared to the top of the charts. His next hit, Made a Way, became a global anthem sung in churches from America to Africa. He wasn't just singing, he was leading a generation in worship. Unlike many gospel artists, Travis had a unique blend of authenticity and energy. He wasn't afraid to mix contemporary sounds with deep worship lyrics. Audiences loved him because he felt real, approachable, and anointed. Soon invitations poured in. Massive concerts, international tours, TV appearances, and conferences. At the same time, he was planting a church in South Carolina, pastoring people week after week. But here's the shocking part. Behind the bright lights and the powerful songs, a storm was quietly building. During a recent Sunday service, Travis stood at the pulpit, his Bible open, his voice strong. But midway through his message, something changed. His tone cracked, his hands trembled, and his eyes filled with tears. At first, the congregation thought he was simply overwhelmed by the Spirit. But then came the words that silenced the entire room. "I can't keep pretending," he said softly. "For years I've been carrying struggles I never told anyone about. I've been exhausted, overwhelmed, and at times, broken." Gasps filled the sanctuary. One woman shouted, "Lord, help him." Others began to cry. Ushers rushed to the front, unsure if he was about to collapse. Travis continued, admitting that he had pushed himself beyond his limits for years, traveling nonstop, preaching, recording, leading, all while hiding the toll it was taking on his mind and body. He confessed that he had spent nights battling anxiety, mornings forcing himself out of bed, and countless days hiding his pain behind a smile. For the first time, the man who had given hope to millions admitted he desperately needed hope himself. Eyewitnesses described the moment as surreal. One church member said, "We thought he was invincible." Hearing him say he was broken, it was like watching a superhero admit he was human. Another described how the room shifted instantly. What began as a worship service turned into a wave of prayer. People falling on their knees, crying out for their pastor. It felt like the whole church was holding its breath. A young man said. Clips from the service began circulating within minutes. Social media lit up with posts, captions reading, "Pray for Travis Greene. Pastors are people too, and this broke me." The videos went viral, racking up hundreds of thousands of views overnight. But as the story spread, so did the rumors. Some said Travis was battling a serious health condition. Others whispered about stress, financial strain, and church politics. A few even suggested that behind the scenes, he was clashing with industry insiders, who demanded more from him than he could give. Insiders close to the family revealed that Travis had been warned multiple times to slow down. He was traveling across continents, recording new albums, pastoring a growing church, and raising his family, all at once. Friends described him as a man who never said no, who believed rest was weakness, and who kept pushing even when his body begged him to stop. But the craziest part, this wasn't the first time concerns had been raised. Some insiders leaked that he had collapsed privately before, away from cameras, but brushed it off as just fatigue. Now, with his public confession, the secret was out. Almost instantly, the gospel community weighed in. Tasha Cobbs Leonard posted, "We love you, brother. Thank you for reminding us that we're human too. Praying strength for you." Jonathan McReynolds tweeted, "Pastors carry so much. Let's cover Travis and every leader with prayer." Kirk Franklin called it a wake-up call for the industry. But here's the shocking twist. Not everyone was supportive. Some critics argued that a pastor admitting weakness so publicly could damage his congregation's confidence. Others said leaders are called to be strong examples, not vulnerable ones. The debate split social media in two, one side praising his honesty, the other questioning his leadership. Travis Greene's confession wasn't just about one man. It became a mirror for the entire church world. How many pastors are silently drowning under pressure? How many gospel artists smile on stage while hiding tears backstage? For years, the church has demanded perfection. Leaders are expected to never falter, never break, never admit weakness. But Travis shattered that illusion. His words forced people to confront an uncomfortable truth. Pastors are human. They get tired, they get anxious, they bleed just like everyone else. And yet, in admitting weakness, Travis may have done something more powerful than any sermon. He gave permission for others to be honest too. The biggest question now is what comes next. Will Travis take a break from ministry? Will he cancel tours, step back from preaching, or even resign from leadership? Or will this confession ignite a movement where leaders prioritize health, honesty, and rest? Some insiders claim he's already planning to scale back his schedule, focusing more on family and personal health. Others insist he's preparing a new album that will reflect his journey of brokenness and healing. Either way, the gospel world is watching closely, because whatever Travis does next will set a powerful precedent for other leaders facing the same silent battles. One church elder who knows Travis personally said, "Maybe this was God's way of showing us that even the strongest need rest, even pastors need grace." Fans echoed that sentiment. Comments online poured in. "I've been battling depression in silence too. Travis just gave me hope. We put too much pressure on our leaders. Thank you for being real. If Travis Greene can admit weakness, maybe I can too." The confession sparked something far bigger than one man's story. It sparked a movement of honesty. As the dust settles, one thing is certain: Travis Greene's words will not be forgotten. His vulnerability has shaken the industry, touched lives, and forced the church to ask tough questions. But what no one knows yet is where this road leads. Will this be the moment that breaks him, or the moment that makes him stronger than ever before? Was this confession a sign of collapse, or was it an act of courage that will change the gospel industry forever? Now it's your turn to decide. Share your thoughts, because this story is far from finished, and the next chapter may be the biggest twist of all.